Hi guys, this is a quick reaction to an incredible series defeat for the Indian team. They have lost the Test series to New Zealand in Pune and now are 2-0 down in this three-test match series. An incredible performance by the New Zealand team. They have inflicted the first series defeat for India at home since 2012 when they lost to Alistair Cook's side. And I mean, it was just not just unbelievable. Let alone the fact that when they won the first Test match, it was like, how can New Zealand beat India in India? But now they have trumped that up by winning a second consecutive test match in the series and now are leading 2-0. They have won the second test match by 113 runs at Pune's Kahunje Stadium. And what a spineless performance by the Indian team. I mean, this Indian batting is in a mess right now. None of the star performers are playing to their potential. A lot of us might say that Virat and Rohit are probably at the end of their careers, but the transition that is going to happen now is going to be extremely tricky and could be messy in years to come. And this home dominance that we had taken for granted for all these years finally has ended now with New Zealand winning by 113 runs and an excellent performance by Mitchell Santner picking up 13 wickets in the game. India, remember, were chasing 359 after bundling out New Zealand in the first session, and they were going well. They had made 78 for one at one stage and then were 96 for one as well before Shubman Gill got out, and it just started a procession. I mean, Virat Kohli just could not live up to his potential. Sarfaraz Khan perishing, Rishabh Pant an irresponsible run out, and I just seen that Virat Kohli, the last 3 4 years have not been very good for him in Test cricket. You can just count on your fingers the two big scores that came, one against Australia on a flat track in Ahmedabad in the 2023 series, and then one against the West Indies that following winter. But he just looks very disinterested in playing. It seems the fact that he missed out on two of the biggest Test series in recent times, one in Australia and which India won, and the England Test series at home earlier this year because of personal reasons. But I mean, it just felt that he just did not have any interest in playing Test cricket. It seems like that, and Rohit Sharma highly inconsistent, hasn't performed at all in this home season except that one knock against Bangladesh. Um, Again, Rishabh Pant, you can probably give him cut him some slack because he has performed well in the last few Test matches. Sarfraz Khan again, he has to learn how to develop his innings, how to play more with more maturity, and yeah, I mean it was just a procession that followed, and Ravindra Jadeja and R. Ashwin delayed the inevitable for a while, but it just looked for the longest time that India was going to lose this test match, even though they were 96 for one and Yashasvi Jaiswal had played brilliantly for his 77. But apart from him, none of the others. I mean, Shuman Gill, I don't know, like he just looks a dead duck against left arm spinners. He just doesn't have any technique at all to play the left arm spin. It seems his face was that of a man resigned to his fate of falling prey to a left arm spinner, and that's what happened in the end. Mitchell Santner, I mean, kudos to him. He's picked up 13 wickets in the game. I mean, for a guy who hadn't picked up a fifer in red ball game, even in first class cricket before this, his best in Test cricket was a threefer, and he has ended up picking up 13 wickets in the game. So kudos to New Zealand. Their batting came good just when it mattered in the first innings. Sachin Ravindra making 65, Tom Blundell also contributing, and Tom Latham in the second innings making 86. Vital runs for New Zealand to get. But the fact that even today in the first session, when New Zealand were bundled out for 300 and I mean a lead of 358, it felt like India had done pretty well because remember New Zealand started with a lead of 301 runs and 5 wickets in hand. So to dismiss them for the next almost 55 runs for 5 wickets was actually a good effort by the Indian team, and especially that last wicket that of the run out of Will O'Rourke. While coming back for the second, a pretty lazy second run that he took, and but even then, Ravindra Jadeja had to flick the ball from his hand onto the stumps, and he did a very smart job. And that point of time, it looked like probably it would be a crucial factor because Glenn Phillips had just hit a couple of sixes at that time. It was nearing his half century, and it looked like this lead could go anywhere between 370, 380 to even 400. So the fact that India did restrict the New Zealand lead to 358 gave me some hope, and especially when Rohit and Yashasvi Jaiswal started their innings, it looked like we are in for a wonderful chase, but that was not to be. It's something that India has to look back and work out their strategy for the next test, because this loss also puts in jeopardy their place for the WTC final. And well, first series loss in 12 years. Remember in 2012, Monty Panesar and Graham Swan spun a web around the Indian batting, and that time we had some greats like Sachin Tendulkar and some of the others were also playing. Virendra Sehwag was there. So to be able to win against that team was a great effort. But for New Zealand to win against Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma and R. Ashwin, Jadeja, all the top guns were there. But still, the Kiwis have punched much above their weight, as we always say about the Kiwis. And there's something to do with 12 years, because before 2012, the last time that India lost a test series was in 2000. So another 12 years ago. That was the Hansi Cronje-led South African team, which had the likes of Nicky Boye, the spinner who performed well. If you remember, Hansi Cronje was there, Gary Kirsten, Lance Klusener, Jacques Kallis, Mark Boucher, all those key performers, Sean Pollock and Alan Donald with the ball. So, there's something to do with 12 years maybe. So, who knows? Well, we might have to wait for another 12 years for an Indian series repeat at home, which I hope so that we do take that long. But the fact that we don't play spin as well as we used to play earlier, and our batting is in a mess, it's going to be extremely difficult with this Indian batting lineup for us to hope anything in Australia against the likes of Mitchell Starc, Hazelwood, and Pat Cummins. The Aussies are, as it is, quite determined to win this one after losing two consecutive home series to India. So they will be all up and charged against the Indians. And looking at the way the Indians have performed in this series, I think is going to give a lot of hope for the Aussies for their series down under. But we still have one more test match to go, and remember the WTC points are very crucial for the Indian team. So already there are rumors that probably they might roll out a flat deck for avoiding a 3-0 sweep. I mean, who could have imagined a 3-0 sweep for an Indian team at home, and that too against New Zealand? I mean, we have lost the odd test match to Australia and England over the years. We have in fact lost test series to Australia and England as well. So I mean, that's something that we need to keep in mind. Just one correction there. The last time that India lost a test series in India was back in 2004. So my correction there. We lost to Adam Gilchrist led side. So yeah, that was an error on my part. So I'd like to apologize for that. Again, a very, very disappointing performance by the Indian team. We hope that they perform much better in the next test match and are in some sort of form going into the test series in Australia. Well, this was Siddharth from the SNS Cricket Diaries for this quick reaction on the Indian defeat. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.